All right, good evening. We'll start the meeting for the Mayor and Town Council in July. Please rise for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear Lord, we submit ourselves to you as your servants and the servants of the people of Hampstead who've placed their trust in us. Please allow every word that is spoken and every action taken to be in the best interest of Hampstead, and for everyone gathered here tonight be a stabilizing influence in these unsettled times. O Lord, bless this meeting and our town. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Jim, roll.
Mayor Nevin.
Here.
Councilmember Barrett.
Here.
Councilmember Painter.
Here.
Councilmember Thomas.
Here.
Councilmember Oglesby.
Here.
And Councilmember Zollman.
Here.
Thank you. Minute approvals for the public hearing and council minute meetings on June 11th.
Move to approve both. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very light agenda tonight for those who are joining us on cable, but you know, it's a nice hot July evening. There's a few people in the audience, but we'll go through some things for information. And Jim, you're first up.
All righty. So the water system centralization and modernization project, the wheels in motion just continue to grow. We've received feedback from MDE on the request for bids for the pipeline construction, and we are currently formulating our responses. We will be advertising for the pipeline construction inspection services next week. Carroll County is currently reviewing the construction plans for the new pipeline that will run from Pump House 5 to the Dairy Water Treatment Plant. Once they review it, Carroll County will issue a grading permit for the pipeline. Additionally, site plans for the new water treatment plants have been reviewed by the town and should be submitted to Carroll County this month, along with it being introduced to the Hampstead Planning and Zoning Commission. The 60% complete construction plans, totally separate from the site plans for the water treatment plants, have also been received by the town, and we'll be meeting with the engineering firms this Thursday to go over the plans. MDE will also be attending this meeting to provide their input on how the project is progressing. So, lead and copper service line inventory. In 2022, the EPA released guidance on maintaining an inventory of all water service lines receiving water from your water system. They're requiring that you collect the data and keep an accurate record of all the materials used on every service line used to provide water to every customer in town. This includes all piping from the water main to the house or business that it serves. In the case of Hampstead, that is approximately 2,300 service lines. For each service line, there are over 25 questions which need to be answered about the line and the building to which it provides water. So you do the math on that, 2,300 times over 25. It's a lot of things to enter into a spreadsheet. The deadline to collect and submit the information is October this year. EPA made it even worse or more difficult. The spreadsheet that must be used to record the data was not available until earlier this year, when supposedly it was first going to come out in late 2022. But the versions they kept putting out didn't work. So the final one that does work, basically they're giving you about 6 to 8 months to complete all this. Many water providers, they're not able to do the work in-house, and they're seeking grants to pay contractors and consultants to complete the inventory project. Our public works and our town staff saw as a challenge we could meet. Christina designed an app with all the addresses and the unanswered questions about each particular property. Toby uses the app on his phone in the field and in the office to enter the information about each address. Toby then transfers it back to Christina, who transfers the data into the EPA spreadsheet. Remarkably, after collecting data for several months, 90% of the service line inventory is complete. It's amazing. So many thanks.
So are we trademarking and selling this app?
We've had several other municipalities reach out about it. So anyway, it's amazing what Christina did. And I've sat there with them one time when Toby brings in his phone and she grabs the information off of there. And basically he could have 250 addresses on there with 25 for each thing she's got to fill in, and she's done in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Just boom, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's amazing. So,
I'm only half
Some good
kidding.
money off
I
of
know.
that.
so many thanks to Christina, Toby, and Kevin for making this very tough requirement achievable. Antietam Broadband, they continue to do their project. They're currently working in the Hampstead Valley, Kimberly Village, and Roberts Field developments. These developments are included in sectors 5 and 6 of the overall project. Sectors 1 through 4 have been completed with the exception of some punch list items. The last phase is section 7, which is Main Street and side streets off of it. That sector, the majority of the work will be overhead with very little underground work. As far as development projects, Board of Zoning Appeals granted a conditional use for the Weiss Gas and Go on June 12th and will likely introduce their concept plan to the Hampstead Planning and Zoning Commission on July 24th. A public hearing will also be held that evening for the Tractor Supply Company project. Town staff has also begun the process of expanding an existing utility easement that's located on the North Carroll Business Park property. Basically, it runs between the property line and our new welcome sign there. And it goes back to where the well is. So the expansion of this easement will allow for the new water lines coming from basically the tennis courts going down Main Street and then back through that easement to where the new water treatment plant will be. It'll allow for those lines to be run, and also the expanded easement will also serve as the access road to the new water plant. As far as the town finance department, fiscal year 2025 has been opened in the town's financial system, and the fiscal year 25 budget has been loaded. Preliminary closing of FY24 was performed. Cheryl continues to work on finalizing the closing of FY24. Several journal entries will need to be performed in the next few months to move items from one fiscal year to the other as needed. We are awaiting confirmation from the auditors as to when they will return to the town office to begin preparing the fiscal year 24 financial statements. The Hampstead Main Street Partnership will be holding their third and final flea market of the year on August 17th in War Memorial Park and on the grounds of St. John's Church from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Additionally, the partnership is beginning the final planning stage for Fall Fest, which will be held on October 12th in the same location. Bulk trash. Bulk trash will be next Saturday, July the 20th. Residents should place bulk items outside on the Friday evening before pickup. These pickups are reserved for large non-hazardous items like old chairs, appliances, etc. Tires, construction material, paint, motors, items with Freon, oil, or other hazardous waste will not be picked up. And then finally, the Hampstead Carnival, which is sponsored by the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Department, returns for its 124th year on August 5th through August 10th. The carnival will be held on the grounds of the Coppermine Pantherplex at 1400 Panther Drive. Same location has been the last several years. Additionally, on the night of August 6th, the Hampstead Police Department will have space at the carnival to celebrate National Night Out. I know the Chief will probably have more about that. National Night Out is an annual community building campaign throughout the United States that aims to strengthen police community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie. And that is it for this month.
Enough.
It is.
Questions, anything? You good? All right, oversight. Diane?
I've been seeing a lot of new faces at the farmers market the past few weeks, so it's great to see that the market is continuing to reach new customers well into the season. Thanks to everyone who braved the heat to support our vendors during those really hot days, and for being understanding of the vendors who either decided not to come or who wrapped up early as they deemed necessary. Throughout the month of July, the Hampstead Volunteer Fire Department will have a table at the market. They will be selling the raffle tickets and discounted ride wristbands for their carnival. The Ride All Night wristbands will be $20 if purchased ahead of time, and the price goes up to $35 if purchased on site during the carnival. In conjunction with the carnival, the farmers market will be set up along the front of the Pantherplex building on August 3rd and August 10th. On August 17th, local graphic arts business Hampstead Marketing and Design will be hosting a youth day for young entrepreneurs at the market. This event is for vendors under the age of 17 to promote youth participation in farm and craft-related endeavors. The students will have their own farmers market set up in the grassy area on the other side of Boring Tie-Dye. There will be no cost for participants. The vendor fees are being covered by Hampstead Marketing Design, Coppermine Pantherplex, and the Hampstead Farmers Market as joint sponsors. Please follow Hampstead Marketing and Design's Facebook page and website for more information and to apply. Finally, we anticipate an appearance by Santa Claus this coming Saturday, July 13th. We hope the weather will be a little bit more hospitable for our visitor from the North Pole.
Maybe bring some snow.
Santa in July.
Santa in
Yeah.
July. He'll be wearing probably his Hawaiian,
Themed outfit? Okay.
yeah, holiday.
Pulled him out of the
outfit.
Caribbean or Hawaiian Islands for
Yeah.
good. All right. Wayne?
The Hampstead Train Station, the Music in the Park series have started. They're the second and fourth week of the month. The last one was pretty hot. The band had to take a couple extra breaks for them to get hydrated. It was 91 degrees during the event.
It is summer.
Yes, it is, and it's a hot one. On the 13th, we have Troy Ingle and the Country Skies playing. On the 27th, we have Bootleg. So I hope everybody can come out to that at 6 to 8 at the War Memorial Park. I'm sad to report that the longtime vice president of the Hampstead Train Station Committee, Danny Lee, passed away on June 21st. They're having a memorial service for him at Elon's on 7/19. So, sorry to see Danny go. He was a good man. Tree Commission, we don't have any meetings till September. There's another grant opportunity I found out about that I'm going to try to get together and get that in as quick as I can. I think the deadline's coming up at the end of this month, and we're in the process of watering trees that we planted because it's so darn hot. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Deb?
Okay, Planning and Zoning Commission, they had the introduction of the final site plan for Hans, which there were no changes from the original concept plan, and the only additions are some minor details. Total should be about 96,000 square feet when complete, and the commission will review and present questions on the July Planning and Zoning meeting. And from the Carroll County Department of Planning, the housing study is, the survey is on their website. It was a very short meeting. That's what we had.
Maybe we'll follow suit. Who knows? All right, Dave?
Okay, this past month, everybody up here actually attended the MML Summer Conference down in Ocean City, and I think it was a very, very good time, and we learned a lot there.
And kudos to you for chairing the convention
Chairing the
planning
convention, yes, yeah.
committee, and you did a good job.
Thank you, thank you. And also along with that, I was reelected to the Board of Directors for MML this year, so I'm very happy, and I'll be serving along with the mayor as well. And on some things locally here, July is Parks and Recs Month. We hope you're able to stop by and enjoy many of our public parks here in the town of Hampstead with your family and friends. One quick thing that we did do, which will help the music in the park if we get rain. Well, that won't help your music in the park, but anyways. The War Memorial Park, Public Works added a new drain in front of the amphitheater area to assist in drainage of the water, which has been flooding. So now we're not going to have that problem.
Nobody gets electrocuted. Good. Ben?
Okay, for June's water usage, it was 377,000 gallons per day. And so far for July, we're at 369,000 gallons per day. The rainfall in June was 2.23 inches, and this month has been 0.01 inches. So we're struggling this month and not having a lot of rain in June either. So right now, as of June 27th, as a town, we're listed as abnormally dry on MDE's drought advisory website. So that means the next step would be moderate drought if we don't get enough rain over the next few weeks. So we just ask that everybody would be wise with their water usage.
So let's just threaten right now that we'll put a water moratorium for outdoor watering of grass in place if things don't get better. Let's see what happens now. Okay, I'm done with that.
That's what's driving up the water usage, is
well-
everyone's out there watering their
Or
yards.
about 10% higher, I agree. All right, Chief, you're up.
evening, everyone. During the month of June, with reference to traffic safety, we investigated 11 accidents. 7 were minor, 4 were reportable, and 6 in the 482 circle. Speed signs were set at 10 locations for a total of 39 days of display. Traffic enforcement included 32 selective enforcements over a 9-hour period. During that activity, 8 citations were issued, 23 warnings were issued. Overall traffic enforcement included 269 citations, 273 warnings. We conducted 408 property checks with reference to crime reported, 7 frauds, 4 thefts, 1 CDS incident, 2 incidents of malicious damage of property vandalism, 1 trespass, and 1 commercial burglary that took place down in the Black & Decker complex. Arrests included 2 DUIs, 1 CDS offense, and 2 for individuals with outstanding warrants. Traffic arrests included 5 suspended drivers, 3 unlicensed drivers, and 4 uninsured drivers. Training took place over a 6-hour period that included several policy reviews, including our policy on reporting, as well as vehicle operation, and a course on distracted driving for law enforcement. Community events included the Cub Scout bike rodeo over at Spring Garden, as well as we participated with our new friend Kyle and ran the Special Olympics event over in Westminster. I have a note on the end there that we participated also in a countywide warrant sweep that took place on June 5th. Special notice to Sergeant Lacey and Lieutenant Dayton. Lieutenant Dayton's with the Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Lacey did a lot of legwork to put this together. It started at 3:30 in the morning and put some perspective in it. They served 100 warrants. 62 individuals were taken into custody, and we participated with manpower in that as well. As Jim noted, the National Night Out, we're going to kind of make sure we have a little bit of an event, a much smaller event than we typically do at the carnival. Scheduling-wise, there's kind of an overlap. Everybody here has participated or been to one of our previous events. It's kind of difficult for us to have 2 large events on the same night. It's just, we don't have the resources to do that. The second thing is, we were of the opinion internally, we didn't necessarily want to take away from any kind of traffic that they would have at the carnival. So we'd like to encourage everybody that would typically come out and participate in the National Night Out, say hello to us, come on over to the carnival, partake with some of the events and, you know, goodies and everything else they have going on in there. And hopefully it'll be a nice night weather-wise, won't be too hot, and we won't have a little bit rain, even though I know we're looking for the rain. But that would be my report.
Questions for Chief?
What time is that going to be over there? 6 o'clock to?
We'll open with the carnival, so usually around 6:30 by the time everybody starts rolling in.
So that's on the 5th, right?
Yes, yes.
It's a good day.
I thought you said the 6th.
6.
The
Tuesday.
6th.
Oh,
yeah.
Tuesday to 6.
The carnival starts on the 5th,
The 5th.
Monday the 5th, but
Tuesday.
National Night
National
Out
Night
is
Out
the 6th.
is on Tuesday the 6th.
Okay. Thought it was Monday. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. You're welcome. All right. My report. Let's see. We had a joint Carroll County, Frederick County, Maryland Municipal League chapter meeting in Mount Airy at the, I guess, a week before we went to Ocean City for the Maryland Municipal League conference, and you know, we do that annually where we come together with both chapters. Better attended by Frederick County, always well attended by Carroll County. Dave gave out several scholarships from the Carroll County MML chapter to some well-deserving graduates, 2 from Manchester Valley, 1 from Francis Scott Key.
Right.
All were very worthy of the awards. Then we did the Maryland Municipal League Conference that Dave referenced, where he was on the Planning Conference Committee. Like he said, I'm on the board, Executive Committee, and back on Legislative Committee. I was honored to be a panelist on one of the Sunday meetings, which dealt with state grants, which they call bonding. I was the local government rep with a senator and a delegate. And then I was a moderator on Monday afternoon with something new that they decided to do, pitch your legislative proposal, Shark Tank style. And so we had 2 senators and a delegate and the legislative director for the governor's staff on the panel, and it was really well done. So we were basically pitching MML's thinking about legislative initiatives moving forward relating to taxing authority, so that would be more that we can tax more than just property taxes. We would have other avenues for raising revenue other than just property. Annexation, and sometimes counties and towns don't get along. Ours seems to get along much better than a lot of other counties, apparently. Double taxation was another thing where, since you pay property tax in Hampstead, you shouldn't have to pay for the same services twice in Carroll County. Carroll County does share with us. You can argue about the amount they share, but there's a lot of counties on the Eastern Shore that get nothing. So there's May and Shell counties. We're a May, but we do get sharing with the county, but there apparently it's a big issue on the shore. And then there was another one about public notices for public hearings. You know, there's still the model where we have to advertise in a paper. For us, we have the Northern News, so that works just fine. It's relatively inexpensive. But if you're a town in Montgomery or Prince George's County, you're pretty much Washington Post, and it's a big dollar bill for every time you have to post a public notice. And then highway user revenues was the other thing, has to keep that on the forefront. So you know, it was time well used. As Wayne mentioned with Danny Lee, it was I guess it was a tough month for Old Hampstead, in that when Wayne and I went to the Hampstead reunion early last month, Buckshot Harmon wasn't there, and he's a very big personality in the group. Basically, you know, raised here, born in Hanover, but raised in Hampstead, a graduate of the old Hampstead School. He was a regular attendee at the reunions. He basically was in Tawnytown. He was a longtime director of Baltimore County Parks and Recs, and he was a teacher and a school administrator. He passed away at 89 years old.
He did. Sorry to interrupt you, but he also started organized baseball in Hampstead in 1959.
Yep. So, here's a local story for you. He met his future wife, Lou Ann Resch, and everybody knows the Resch name, dentistry, right, in the town, in first grade and Sunday school at St. Mark's Lutheran Church, and then that's first grade, right, and they married many years later in the same church. So, you know, talk about small town. But he was a great guy, and I really enjoyed the interaction of him. And in the small world kind of thing, I got to know his grandson, because he's involved in Brandon. He's involved in real estate in Baltimore area. So a life of public service and a life well lived, and he'll be missed. There's also a lot of information out there related to new power lines coming through northern Maryland and Carroll County and where they're going to be. And I know there was a public hearing today in Hereford, and there's one tomorrow in Westminster. It's a Westminster Senior Center.
Thursday in Westminster.
Thursday, sorry. At
2 to 4, and then 6 to 8, both times at the Senior Center on Stoner Avenue.
Yep. And so basically, I mean, I don't know what they can catch on the camera, but there's 3 lines here, and there's a new line that basically runs from Peach Blossom Nuclear Power Plant over and down through Frederick County and into Northern Virginia to serve data centers. And the governor's fully on board with this, and there's other lines that they're going to have to improve and or run through basically Baltimore County and eastern Hartford County, and also down through Westminster, Tawnytown to Westminster, to serve the future electricity needs. And primary reason for that is PJM is the regional grid operator for our area. It used to basically stand for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland, but it basically has widened out, goes as far west as pieces of Michigan and down into the eastern portion of Kentucky, if my memory serves right. But the reason for all this that's going on is Talon Energy owns a power plant called Brandon Shores, which is located down in Anne Arundel County. And it has 2 1,280 megawatt coal-fired generation facilities. And they're set to be deactivated on June 1st next year. So that's a big supplier of electricity to our market and to BG&E. And the environmentalists have been after all coal-fired plants, and so this is one of the last ones in Maryland that'll get shut down. And then because of this process, PJM has to look at bringing more electricity into Maryland. So that's the reason for these new lines running across northern Maryland through Carroll County and then down through the Baltimore metropolitan area to get to where the Brandon Shores plant is. And there's also another couple of units of what is called the Wagner Generating Station. It's also in Anne Arundel County with a combined capacity of 844 megawatts, which will also seek to deactivate on June 1st. PJM's reliability analysis reaffirmed the need for immediate transmission enforcements as early as that 2025 date and further determined that the 2 Wagner power units would be needed to run through 2028 as necessary upgrades are completed. On April 18, 2024, Talon filed a reliability must-run arrangement with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission for both Brandon Shores and the Wagner units. And so basically the report summarizes a technical analysis conducted by PJM to evaluate the performance of the BGE system. And it basically says that without those systems continuing to run, the Baltimore metropolitan area and the BGE service area will not have enough electric generation to service the needs of the population and demand that's currently here today. So this is the reason for these power lines. And whether, wherever they're located, apparently this is baked in the cake, but they're trying to, because of the need to run them and the reliability analysis there, they're looking to extend the life of those power generation plants to match up with the electric lines that are coming in. So more to be determined, but this is the path forward that Maryland's determined they're going to pursue, and as a result, we need these new power lines to come through. And so that's the reason for these hearings. I unfortunately have to be out of town on business Thursday, but I heard the one in Hereford today that was a line around the building, lots of maps up. I don't know how much information was shared, but anybody who wants this report, it's 15 pages, and it basically shows the reason why. It's a quick read, but we can, if you send an email to Jim, we'll get it to you.
Yep.
So that's what I've got. There is no business today. It's a nice quick July meeting after all the budget stuff last month, for the new year. Are there any public comments? Doug, how you doing?
On the Shallow Avenue railroad track, has anybody contacted the
CSX? As a matter of fact, we have.
Numerous times. So I finally made contact with a Mr. Jason Bishop. I had traded emails from him over the course of a year. Finally, in May, he agreed to come out and meet with me. And he is basically our customer service rep in this area. So he came out, he met with me. I gave him a tour of all the crossings in town. And to say he was shocked would be an understatement. So he was like, wow, these are bad. The 3 to be addressed immediately were the south one on Main Street, Shiloh Avenue, and the north crossing on Main Street, with temporary fixes done to the other ones in town. So the next step was Jason reached out to a Brandon Twig, who actually schedules the work and does the work. Jason's customer service rep. Jason does the work. So in May, I was told Brandon would be in touch with me within a week. I have not heard from Brandon. In fact, Monday, I sent another email to Jason telling him that this is getting ridiculous, and if need be, I'll take it further up the food chain, whatever we need to have to get it done. So it's very disappointing and frustrating when CSX comes out here and tells you, wow, they're shocked at the condition of them, but then the other branch of CSX refuses to do anything about it. So that's where we stand. So I'm trying.
it's bad out there?
It is very bad out there.
Like you said, we've been after him for over a year. So I drive across those same railroad tracks, Doug, so I get it. Any other comments? Denise?
I just have a question. The 5 water treatment plants that you said they're gonna put in?
4.
Four? Are they like the small ones like they have now for the different wells, or what scope are they?
No, what is it? The entire project is called the Modernization and Centralization Project, and because of the issue we're having with PFAS, which is emerging contaminant all over the country, what we're doing is instead of having the small pump houses and treatment centers at each well, because of the cost of the equipment necessary to address the PFAS issue, what we're doing is we're centralizing the system, and we're building these 4 larger pump houses, water treatment plants, and basically pumping the water from the various wells. Like, for example, North Carroll Farms will have 4 wells running to it. Derry will have 4 wells running to it. Shiloh will have 4 wells running to it. And then the 4th water treatment plant will be a standalone on lower Beckelsville for well 13. So it's a necessary thing. Because of the problem we're faced with, we couldn't put this granulated activated carbon, the equipment into every existing water plant, because number one, it wouldn't fit, and number two, the cost would just be exorbitant. Not that it's not exorbitant now. So overall, it's a great project for the town because it really modernizes everything. So,
Not without cost.
yeah.
Anything else? All right, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with us, and folks on Channel 23, enjoy the rest of your July.